Hi, I'm Patricia Stern and I'm running for Indian Hill Village Council. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Tim Newman and his staff here at the ICRC for providing our 5 minutes of fame during this election time. I know it's a lot of work and a lot of organization, and we really appreciate what they're doing here. Here's a little background on myself. I was born in the city of Chicago. My both parents were civil servants. My father worked for the Chicago Park District and my mother worked in the village where we lived. They both instilled a great work ethic in me, and I carried that on through college. I majored in radio and television production and graduated, and was fortunate enough to be hired by a cable television company called Multimedia Cablevision. While at Multimedia Cablevision, I learned the cable television business from the ground up. I learned about installation and construction, customer service, and sales and marketing. But the area that interested me the most was community television programming, called public educational and governmental access, PEG for short. I worked at Multimedia Cablevision, and while I was there, I kept reading in my trade magazines about a new cable system being built in the Cincinnati, Columbus, Ohio area. It was an interactive cable system, two-way. They called it the Cube system. I was very curious about it, and so when I saw a job opening in the Cincinnati area in the cable television field, I applied and I was hired as the first executive director for the ICRC. I came to Cincinnati and my tasks were to solve cable problems, keep rates low, and get funding for the organization I was to run. So through lobbying both local, state, and federal officials, we got the Cable Act of 1984 passed, which allowed funding for organizations like the ICRC to do cable programming on a community basis. While at the ICRC, we found that Time Warner Cable was not living up to the contract they signed with all the communities. And so we were about to sue them, and then we entered into negotiation for settlement, got $1 million settlement, which helped buy the building that I'm in right now today, build this beautiful studio, state-of-the-art mobile truck, control room, and head end. In addition to keeping rates low and fending off customer complaints, I also was heavily involved in most of our communities that the ICRC represented, which was 31. I was involved with Chamber of Commerce's and nonprofit organizations. I was on the board of Maple Knoll Retirement Community and Sycamore Senior Center, in addition to being on the Board of Zoning Appeals and the Board of Zoning in Sycamore Township. In 2010, my family, my husband Jim, my daughter Nora, we all moved to Indian Hill, basically for the school system, the excellent school system, great police and fire protection, and lovely Greenbelt. In 2013, I retired from the ICRC and started my new career as a volunteer. I volunteered in the Indian Hill school systems, the Indian Hill Recreation Department. I was a soccer coach, and I volunteered at Legacy's Upscale Resale Shop. Then it was time for me to run for office. It's something I always wanted to do, so I submitted my resume to the Indian Hill Mayor's Nominating Committee, and I was selected to be part of the slate of the recommended candidates. Why do I want to be on Indian Hill Council? I want to preserve the high quality of services that we now are afforded. I want to make sure there's resources available for the Indian Hill Rangers, the Madeira Indian Hill Fire District, parks and village employees, maintenance staff, now and into the future. So if you agree with me and you want to keep those resources and the excellent standard of living we enjoy in Indian Hill, I would humbly ask for your vote in November. Thank you. Again, I'm Patricia Stern and I'm running for Indian Hill Village Council.